What is going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. Today is the very, very much anticipated, at least for me, playtest of the Athleta Array T7s. These are a pair of super wide-fitting football boots that have a lot of nice tech in them, amazing quality K-leather in the forefoot, a really, really good heel area, and a sole plate that I think is actually going to work really well on debatably one of the most beautiful grass pitches I've ever played on. So let's hop into it. So getting straight into the T7, this is a boot that really, really surprised me. Tokyo Football sent these out to me, and I had never really heard of the brand that much. God dang, getting straight into them, they fit so well. Just for a sizing perspective, if you haven't seen my review already, these are a 26.5 centimeters, a 8.5 US, so half a size down from my normal 9 US, and a Euro 42.5. So they fit absolutely perfectly, with, I'm sure, a little bit of room to stretch and mold. The cool thing about these boots as well is, as you can see, there is a whole nother set of lace loops that actually might be super advantageous to use if, for instance, I decide to break these in, which I have already, that's why we're here, and I can actually use the lower lace loops in case the boots get overstretched, which I think is such a cool feature. And you know what? For a synthetic midfoot like this, a runner's knot, number one, but number two, extra lace loops here, that is going to provide such a nice extra little bit of lockdown when I need it, and it doesn't affect the integrity of the upper either because they're not being used. It's just like a hole in the upper, which I think is fantastic. So really great. These boots are genuinely way better than I thought they were going to be. Athleta is a smaller brand, and it is a brand that I really hadn't heard of until I saw one of Andrew Lockhart's reviews on them. I think he reviewed the T6 or T5, and he had some pretty good things to say about them, and I honestly could not be more impressed, and I think this boot is probably one of the best boots for wide foot shapes. As you can see, I haven't worn these more than just the short and also the review, and they basically fit me perfectly like this. So massively impressed. Let's hop into some footwork. All right, first things first, a little warm up here. We're just gonna go through, and as we're going through these, I'm just trying to get a sense for, first of all, what the sole plate is like, because that's one of the major factors in playing in a pair of boots for me, is how the sole plate performs. So far in this first little section, very, very nice. It's super neutral. They're all conical studs. As I said in the unboxing, it reminds me a lot of the Puma King Mirai, which I actually really liked. That was a great boot. They just fit a little bit long. I got the wrong size. I should have gone like half size or full size down on those. But these, man, like, close my eyes, don't look at them. One of the most comfortable football boots in my rotation right now. All right, here we go. A little bit of extra work here. Nice. Feels so good, man. These feel awesome. Lockdown feels great. The synthetic material in the midfoot actually locks my foot in really well without feeling cramped, which is a huge thing. And then my toes feel like they have plenty of space to maneuver around. One of the other immediate things that I notice is how nice and comfy the heel area is, because it has a really nice, almost kind of grippy suede liner. I get zero slippage wearing these with some, like the Wii Foot grip socks that I have on. Oh man, the playing experience is just, it's so seamless. It's like one of those boots like the Asics DS Lite X-Fly 5 that just like melts on your foot. Like it feels like it's just, you don't even have to think about it. Like it's just so natural and good feeling. And speaking of Asics DS Lite X-Fly 5, this is definitely a boot that falls into that category. So we're talking Asics DS Lite X-Fly 5, Asics DS Lite X-Fly Pro 2, and Mizuno Morelia Neo 4. Neo 4 Beta, I guess, is in the competition, but I would say these are definitely more in that conversation because of the fact that they have a standalone tongue versus the Beta model, which obviously has the knit tongue. And I tell you what, if you got wide feet, like if you got flipper feet, super flat and wide feet, Athleta Array T7 is wider than all the other boots I mentioned. So huge, 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 huge. One thing that I actually really like about this is they're flat, but these boots actually have a little bit of arch support in them, which feels absolutely awesome on feet. It's one of those boots that, similar to the Asics boots, is built around kind of actual foot shapes and being the best version of the, being the best version of a boot for feet that, I'm trying to speak English here, but basically they're built around feet, not around aesthetic and look. And that's one thing that I think a lot of boots in this category sometimes get wrong, is that they're super comfortable. They have the synthetic midfoot, which gives them a lot of lockdown and sort of the best of all worlds, but they aren't built around like actual foot shapes. They're built around a silo that looks really good on camera. And that's one thing that I think Athleta have absolutely nailed here because of how perfectly foot shaped the boots are. All right, guys, here we go. A little bit of passing action, just because I don't have a wall, just trying to get a sense of what that grid shell in the midfoot is like. Obviously, it's a synthetic leather and resin mix that sits like right and wraps kind of the midfoot area on both lateral and medial sides. Very, very comfortable. So far, pretty good lockdown as well, and a really nice, slightly padded feel as I'm getting connection with the ball. So no issues so far. Upper is feeling great. Obviously the leather has such a beautiful touch on the ball. Accuracy needs to be worked on as always. But leather in the forefoot just feels awesome. You can flex your foot any way you want with quite a bit of responsiveness from the outsole, which is great. And outsole also is performing really well. So that's huge. One of those things that I think is, obviously a major player when it comes to creating a holistic package that works really well. All right, over to the right foot now, getting a little bit of extra feel. Nice and easy passing. Very nice, very nice. Honestly, guys, like I'm doing a play test right now, sort of as a courtesy, because these boots really, really don't need a lot of break-in time, and they are just fantastic to wear. Honestly, I don't have many complaints. Maybe sole plate could be a little bit more stiff, just to help with how buttery soft, clip the ground there, how buttery soft the upper is. So maybe just a little bit of extra. But honestly, guys, like this is a absolutely phenomenal fitting pair of football boots. So really not worried about it too much. Obviously passes are going awry a little bit, but we're getting to the end of the day here. Man, if I tell you what, if you've got really wide feet, you have to try these. So Tokyo Football sells them, so go pick them up there. All right, guys, the last couple of drills, little box, here we go. In, out. Nice. Striking surface feels good. It's definitely on the padded side, so that's something to keep in mind as well. If you're looking for the thinnest boots that fall in this category, I would say probably DS Lite X Fly 5 in the non-synthetic model. Nice, lovely. Great striking surface. That's the thinnest, the leather model. Then Mizuno, then closely followed by these ones. The leather in this one feels very similar to the Mizuno quality leather. As far as thickness goes. Now, then I would say the synthetic DS Lite X Fly 5 isn't any thicker necessarily than this one. It just feels a little bit thicker because it's a synthetic. Ooh, don't bounce over. Thank you. So, man, love the feeling. I've got really nothing but positive things to say about these. I'm interested to know, as I keep breaking them in, are they still gonna feel really nice and snug but comfortable, or are they gonna overstretch? And that's when I think my comment earlier about the loopholes, where the laces go in, the extra lace holes are going to be such a key feature because I'll be able to just tighten and tighten and tighten as they stretch out, and I won't lose that extra bit of kind of lockdown and responsiveness that I get from a fully laced football boot like this. All right, last little bit here, little dribbling through the cones, little cone line, cut inside, and a whip back post. Decent. Obviously form is like what creates a shot like that, from a not as good as I want it to be perspective, but the feeling on the ball is fantastic. Fantastic. It's getting a little bit, I wouldn't say sloppy, but I think these are actually designed for people with even wider feet than me. So the initial break-in process is essentially non-existent for somebody like me, where it might take a little bit of break-in time for somebody who has an even wider foot shape. But again, if you're talking about a boot that just is super, super comfy straight out of the box, this is one of the ones to go for. Oh, love that. See, that's what I mean, man. I love these. I think they're so good. These are absolutely going in my rotation on a regular basis. All right, you guys know what it is. Crossbar challenge. Here we go. Between the two cones, right on the edge of the 18. Let's go right foot first. Little clip. Try to hit crossbar. One each foot. Ooh, almost. Left foot here. Nice. Unlucky. Dang. Great, great, like just, striking ability in these. Especially, it really comes down to comfort, right? Like if you have a boot like this that's just built around a proper foot shape, it's comfortable, doesn't have any bull in it. Like there's nothing here that shouldn't be here. It just feels really good. Balls like that where you're clipping, if I'm coming up to a ball and I'm trying to ping it long distance, I don't even have to think about it because it's just the boot has sort of become part of my foot, which is like probably the best praise I can possibly give a boot. All right, free kicks. Last little bit here. Feeling good. One step up, that's all we're doing. Really nice form. All we're trying to do is clip it near post. One step, here we go. Yeah, nice. Getting there, getting there. If that's a little bit to the left, like if I aim a little bit further to the left, that goes almost side netting, which is kind of what we're looking for. That like you curve it so much that it sort of reverses into, reverses into the side netting on that side. So you kind of big bend up and over. So good, so good, so good. I cannot get over how comfortable these are. If you are a wide-footed player or coach or somebody who isn't doing a ton of like super high intensity, that's a decent free kick. That's probably getting saved by the keeper. But if you're doing like low intensity stuff, buy these or buy Asics or Mizuno, I guess, one of those three. If you are somebody who has a really wide foot and you really, really want something that's gonna be comfortable, it's gonna be responsive, it's gonna have a great feel for the ball, no BS, good lateral lockdown, zero break-in time, how many tick boxes do I need? You buy the Athleta T7. They're that good. And as you guys know, we all obviously have to do the right side too, because we can't be uneven. Can't be doing that. Got to practice both sides. Always, always, always. Unless you're in the Prem and you want to spend that extra time on one foot or the other, fair enough. But at my level or at anybody who's playing like amateur, do both feet, just cause. It's good for your development. And if you can hit a ball with both feet pretty well, it makes a massive difference for coaches who are recruiting, because it means that you can play centrally, you can play any side. Like, it makes you so much more of a complete player. And I think unless you, relative to your competition, are like messy from the standpoint of like you are so much better than everybody else with one of your feet, fair enough. But for the majority of us, we need to do both feet. That's a little bit more of a chipped ball. Not what I'm looking for, but that's all right. because we learn, we set the ball up the same way, we take the same steps back, and we execute a little bit better this time. Here we go. Oh, or worse. Well, there you go. That's all right. You know what? Sometimes it happens. Let's hop into the conclusion. All right, fam, that is going to wrap up the Athleta Array T7. I'm a massive fan of these football boots. They are so comfortable. I'm actually a day away from my trip back to America for some work and to see family. And I will probably be taking these to do my pickup sessions with homies in, because they're that comfortable, and they're in a stud pattern that I feel comfortable wearing on FG and AG surfaces. As you can see, the studs actually aren't that long. They work really well on a surface like this that is super flat. It's like the best firm ground you're gonna get because it's not wet at all. Or maybe it's a little bit like damp or whatever, but you're gonna feel totally fine with these. And then on AG surfaces like I did in my play short on my Instagram, and then also just kind of messing around in my backyard with these on that turf surface, these are great as well. So for me, this is one of those boots that is probably gonna fly under the radar because not very many people know about this brand, and they don't put out a ton of different stuff, but the fact that these have the extra reinforcement around the toe box, they've got probably some of the most premium leather. I would put this like probably top 2 or top 3 most premium feeling leather on the market. They've got a synthetic midfoot, synthetic leather and resin midfoot that actually works really well, the extra lace holes and the suede lining like basically all around your heel. It really is one of those boots that's just, it feels very thoughtfully put together. It helps that it's a very wide fitting boot. So I would say if you're on the narrow side and you're looking for a boot in that sort of list that I explained before of Mizuno Morelia Neo 4 and Neo 4 Beta, Asics DS Lite X Fly Pro 2 and Asics DS Lite X Fly 5, and the Athleta Array T7, maybe the Diadora Veloce's in there, but it's not the same quality. There's a couple other boots that are kind of in that same category of really nice leather forefoot, synthetic midfoot, and your conical stud pattern sole plate. I would say that these are the best, hands down, for the widest of foot shapes. Then I would say probably Asics is sort of that middle ground, plus the non-beta version of the Mizunos. Then the beta version and the X-Fly Pro 2 are probably the most narrow, the beta version being the most narrow. So that's kind of how I would rank them. For my foot shape, these are incredible. I almost could, I don't maybe want to go there quite yet, but I reckon I could actually fit in an 8 US. I wouldn't though, because I want the kind of perfect fit. That being said, I think if you are somebody who kind of teeters on, let's say you wear a 9 US, but you fit kind of a little bit in between an 8.5 and a 9, go with like 3/4 size down to an 8 as opposed to half a size down to an 8.5. Hopefully that makes sense, especially if you're sort of an average width foot. Yeah, guys, honestly, I cannot speak highly enough about these boots. I really enjoy them, and they are gonna be an absolute regular in my rotation moving forward. Fantastic. If you guys are interested, I'm not sponsored by them. If you are interested in a pair of these, definitely go check out Tokyo Football. It's at tokyofootball.sg on Instagram, and you can go to their website and they have Athleta Array T7s available. Definitely a brand that I would check out. The reason I say Tokyo Football also is because they ship worldwide, so that's an easy one. But yeah, fantastic pair of football boots, guys. Would highly recommend. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, be awesome, take care. I'll see y'all in the next video.